Skate 3 after going to high school, and then a shift of working at the burger joint I used to work at, and it
Yeah,
was kind of like the game that brought me peace.
yeah. Well, because it is a pretty chill game. Also, I just realized
Yeah.
you saying working at the burger joint. That is I love that. Oh no, that's cool. It's like saying I'm born and raised here.
Jumps down and slides down the hill. I see shots going above his head.
So she's like, oh, great, on her one day off, you're trying to romance this Pan Am chick. I'm like, honey, it's V, it's not me. Come on.
Brought back some old Catholic school memories, did it?
Oh man, yeah. You just okay. You know the DMV slaw.
I know you're going with this.
Yeah, this guy.
You're listening to On the Rewind.
All right, just a special little announcement. This is our 40th episode of On the Rewind. We are a bi-weekly broadcast on Amherst Island Radio 101.3 FM. We are also brought to you by Neon Blinds Media Productions. We're almost had it. I'm still gonna roll it. Screw it. Where nerds, geeks collide on the latest nostalgic topics. And we got Summer Game Fest recap coming up for you, along with the Xbox showcase, some Ubisoft stuff, not too hyped up, but that's state of play from PlayStation though. But we're gonna see how it all adds up, how it all stacks out, how it all falls apart. And so, Adam, let's rewind.
All right. So yeah, like Derek was saying, we watched the summer games one.
It's Summer Games Fest. Do not Google Summer Fest. You'll get a lot of different things.
All right. Yeah, the Summer Games Fest. We watched the Xbox One. A lot of great titles coming out. And that's also because I'm pretty picky, so I was pretty happy that there was at least, I have a list of 10 here that I'm actually really excited to talk about. And actually they're out of my usual realm because I don't go AAA titles all the time, but those are what I'm comfortable with. It has to be a really big hit for me to go into the indie realm, like Helldivers or Palworld or stuff like that. Like, for me to branch off from the regulars, it's really hard to do. So the first one I want to talk about is Perfect Dark. And when I googled this right before the showing, just to kind of catch my mind here, I didn't realize it's actually it's a very, very old game. It's actually
Really?
like, oh yeah, it's like one of those ones where it had like the Lara Croft like polygons.
Oh yeah, N64 days.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, this is, which by the way, if you've watched the trailer, and I actually suggest you watch the trailers to all the games we talk about after this because they are really cool. It is not N64 quality anymore. We are bumping way up. Almost looks like a spy story, spy thriller, but like also semi supernatural esque. Looks very interesting. Pretty much you are an insurgent going into this city, trying to find something or another. Almost looks like you're looking for a target. Looks fun, looks fast paced. The gunplay looked pretty nice too. Any thoughts on it, Derek?
Um, so kind of interesting is that the original game was you're searching for extraterrestrial life that's being hidden by corporations.
Okay. So yeah, I definitely think that there's something to that there
Yeah.
because I remember that weird scanner that came out when she pulled it out in the middle of the trailer.
Mhm.
Um, got a lot of Dishonored vibes from it. Really looked and felt like that almost with just like not so kind of the art style, but just with like you're in the city with these like super tall buildings, you're going through alleyways and stuff like that. It's like it's not super bougie, it's not super decrepit. It's like a city going through a tough time. Kind of liked it though. Gave a good atmosphere overall.
Yeah,
But
it's got a neat, unique blend of kind of gadgets to it. It reminds me of a Montreal game that I'm gonna come back to, but I think the part that I think got you hooked was when they started pulling out parkour, like the pipe slide, grabbing onto the pipe and sliding down, and you were both like Mirror's Edge slash Dying Light, kind of like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, really fluid, really nice, really smooth. I like that. Yeah. So it just looks like you're kind of a badass spy that's just going around. There seems to be a nice kind of deep story to it. Hopefully deep, hopefully fleshed out. Definitely keeping it on my list. It is not a definite buy yet, but I'm looking at it. Looks single player, and I'm kind of really into those. I know my co-host is not, but yeah. So far, that's mine. Um,
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of Deus Ex a bit more than Dishonored.
yeah, yeah, oh yeah, with the technology too.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's one of those things where it is a first person, so it does work with that quite well. Yeah,
yeah. That's what I had to dig the cranium for was that name.
yeah. Next up, and I am actually just going off of my list of how they appeared, but if I had to, I would put this at the end for like the big showcase. Gotta say, Killer Bean looks awesome. I am usually not one for these games. It is super low quality graphics. You're playing a bean that talks in a world with beans that talk, but the mechanics of this game, the story of it even kind of seems interesting. It's one of those things that it's like you took a basic action movie and you're like you just put this character in it, but it looks like you can do crazy things. Derek actually put it best. This is what we would like to see from the Saints Row franchise, or what we would have liked to see from the Saints Row
yeah.
franchise.
They're now dead.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, a little too soon on that one, I guess. But yeah, no, very, very good. What did you think of it, Derek?
I kind of just so before I get to my opinion, just to kind of summarize kind of the mechanics, you got somewhat of a Max Payne kind of slow mo. There's a clip where he tosses a bullet out, shoots it, it ricochets. You follow the bullet, goes around the corner, hits the target, dives out a window, slow mo, shoots target in the next room. Um, has a grenade tossed up. He runs up, jumps up, and grabs it, and then does the alley oop touchdown.
Yeah,
Throws a grenade back at him.
yeah,
That's what you're getting into. City looks like it's pulled straight from Saints Row 2. Water graphics otherwise actually looks oddly better than the rest of the game.
yeah. No, it's like a jumbled mess. It's but like it's a looks like something that's fun. At the
Yeah,
end of the day, it looks really, really fun.
yeah. For me, the low end on the graphic side for what sold the show for me in that aspect was Cuff Bus. You're essentially 20 players of gummy bears doing a prison break.
Yes. Yep.
um from everything from like just the swarm of gummy bears coming at the guards or somehow having frag grenades, stealing soap from the showers and the inmates that are showering to cause slips for the guards, stealing a helicopter, throwing a bomb into a toilet and tunneling your way out. Was kind of summarizing of the trailer. That one kind of was very intriguing to me on that aspect for a little while. The Killer Bean, it's one of those ones. Is just like it's like one of those bad movies that you can't help but watch.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, that's yeah. I think that's why I like it so much. It's just it looks so interesting. It's like that thing where it's like a car crash. You can't look away. It's like I'll probably finish the game in like a day because I can't imagine they put too much into it. But it actually, you know what? What I will say is I will buy this depending on the price. If they try and charge AAA pricing, don't think I'll pick it up. But if this is like going at, I'd say they'd be pushing it at the $40 range. Lower than that, you're probably going to get my money. But yeah,
It'll probably be $40 range for American, but for us as the Canadian side, northern side of the border, it's gonna be probably around that $50 mark. I can see.
yeah, that might keep me away until sale. That would keep me
Yeah.
away till sale. But you mentioned Cuff Bust. Gotta go on to that. That is, yeah, that it looks like a fun game. I will say I don't know if it's gonna be like a race against the clock type version. I understand why some servers do that just to get people through and all that. I
Mhm.
wouldn't mind if it was 20 of your pals and you're kind of like it takes you a little bit to actually figure out a plan. Like the plans are changing constantly. I would hope that there's not a surefire situation that you can do every time. I would hope that some stuff changes and goes around.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, that is super intriguing. Looks like a whole bunch of fun, and it's also like it's not taking the Prison Break thing too seriously, which I like. I like that it's
Yeah.
kind of having fun with it.
Yeah, you could be drinking beers, or taking or whatever your pleasure is, but you're gonna while you're doing that, and you're gonna basically be having a laugh and a hoot the entire time by the looks of it. But it is early development. Was just the trailer. Did show gameplay, but it didn't show anything like a full run. It just kind of showed kind of key points of what the breakout would be like. I do think it's gonna be pretty fast paced. I think like it might like a breakout might be 15 minutes of your time.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. I just like the whole idea of being gummy bears in a prison for a day, just
I just
having
don't see
fun.
it taking longer than like the timer of a Call of Duty match.
Yeah, most likely, because then it's like you failed, try again type stuff. Yeah, no, that is
I don't know
fair.
if there will be like a fail options, maybe because you didn't see anybody die. You just saw a helicopter get shot down.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you don't break out within the time period,
Yeah,
that's like, gotta start again. You probably get caught and then brought back to your cell in the game, and then you have to start a new match.
yeah.
But no, it looks very interesting. Looks fun. Looks like a great party game. Um, yeah. So there was that one. Now that we're kind of going like into the meat of things, I do want to bring up the whole Starfield DLC. This is just
Okay.
something I want to touch on.
Yeah.
I especially since playing 76, Starfield is awful. The more and more that I've had time away from it and seeing this DLC that came out, DLC looks semi interesting, but they it is way too late for me, in my opinion. I just it's done. I can't. There was nothing else in that game except for the 4 or 5 main story points that were super interesting. Don't get me wrong. That was like some great content. It was pretty fun. Um and it set you up to go into this world thinking that like anything's around the corner. You can do whatever you think cuz you're going to run into this guy and all of a sudden you're going to be on a pirate space mission and it's going to take you on hours of content. So pretty much after I'd like to say not even 50 hours of playing, you're pretty much dropped off into this dead universe where your only other option is to restart the whole thing and just play the same story again, do different choices. That's fine by you, but like, I don't know. This is my small rant on how I am not going back for this DLC. No how, no way. Does not look like it provides enough. And it's also going into the fact it's going into the DLC is going into the weakest point of Starfield, going into the anomalies. The anomalies and all that crap was not what Starfield was good for. It was good for like the actual human NPCs that like actually had a lot of story behind them, actually had some fun gimmicks with them. They had character. The anomaly part, they were all pretty much the same person. And it was all just, oh, okay, so now my bullets don't work with this guy. I have to think around this. It's like, no, you had it right on the mark when you were either being like a lone ranger type or you were being a pirate, you were being a military pilot in space. Like that's the fun of it. Don't go into this whole time hopping thing and dimension hopping thing. That's where you lost a lot of people, in my opinion. That's where it kind of dove down for me, and I was happy I had side missions to go and actually complete and have a good time. So I don't think this DLC is going to do much for the state of the game. We all have seen the Steam numbers. Don't think it's coming back anytime soon. Anything to add on Starfield?
actually kind of funny to add on to what I liked about it, like space shanties, like the fact that you come across a ship and there's this guy that's a long line descendant of the British tea company trade, the
Yeah.
East Indian, and yeah, that was kind of cool. Where it's just like there's three different shanties for a while there. Like I didn't even play the game, and I had those on a YouTube loop because I was getting right into it. I was playing different space games while listening to it. But as for kind of the trailer and all that stuff that from that, it's like it looks neat, but Starfield always kind of rubbed me like it's not the space. Like everything from where the armor on the character to everything else that I saw from the trailers and some gameplay, it just is like, it's not the kind of space experience I want.
Yeah.
But I will say, so Todd Howard in a recent interview said, for those that do like the game and do want more of it, because more is never bad unless, well, it doesn't sell at all and it derails your company. But he did say he wants to support it for a longer period of time than they usually do, and they want to do annual expansions, which I
Oh,
get.
okay.
It's a bigger mess of an engine than they've ever made before. Even modders were having a hard time modding it because of how messy the engine is used to utilize everything that's there.
Oh
But
yeah.
and then everything's fully voice acted. The rate at which they're rendering graphics and stuff like that, yeah, it's gonna take longer.
Yeah.
But they want to do annual expansions rather than like trying to release another game right away. They're looking at supporting Fallout 76. They're looking at supporting Starfield as their two big things, while they also work on other things
Yeah, new
when it
releases.
comes, because which this came up when they asked about the next Fallout game. This kind of came up in an interview.
Yeah. I can't see them giving up Fallout 76 anytime soon for a new Fallout game. Yeah,
But
gotta think the
speaking,
revenue.
but one thing I do like about Anomalies is that Soccer 2: Heart of Chernobyl got announced.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know you were excited for that one.
Yeah, it's not even that I'm a big fan of that kind of aesthetic. I've never played the Stalker games, but a lot of games I do enjoyed were inspired by the first Stalker.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
Like
going back
there's
to the
Escape from
roots.
Tarkov. There's that Pioneer, which is pretty much a co-op Fallout version, or not a Fallout version. I don't know. It's MMO-ish. It's MMO kind of style version of Stalker that's gonna have the multiplayer. That's my gimmick. I like myself some multiplayer.
Yeah.
The ironic thing about playing MMOs is it's massively multiplayer online, but you play it alone, and you just look at all the other people, and you're socially awkward, and it's just like, yeah. So I may as well play a single player game, because at least I interact with the NPCs. But
Yeah.
anyway, so what's really cool about Soccer 2 is it's expanding on its universe. It's going to be released September 5th. This is also from the Xbox Game Showcase, which in the heart of many won the kind of battle of independent studios. Like it beat State of Play, it beat the Ubisoft one. I don't know if Nintendo's had their direct yet, or if they already did. If so, I haven't really heard much coming from that.
Which is never a good sign.
But like most Stalker like games, borderless open world. It's not going to have a linear story per se. You're going to have choices that affect things, who you align yourself with. The world itself is going to be ever changing and puzzle. It'll be like what's that card game I got you for your birthday? You know the
No,
one, right?
not exploding kittens.
No, not card, car. The one that you're driving in the car, fixing it up, driving through the zone. Pacific
Pacific
Drive.
Drive. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was
All
gonna
right.
say
So
what?
so Pacific Drive is heavily inspired by Stalker.
That I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. So games like that, all these things with like anomalies, these worlds, this weird kind of sciencey thing that you don't know what's going on, surviving in definite, and then on top of that, you got an extremely well-oiled military-style shooter.
Yeah.
I'm not talking something like Call of Duty. I'm talking something more along the lines of like Insurgency, Sandstorm, or Arma. But it's cleaned up, control style, runs better, So, you're gonna have your leans, you're gonna have your reloading and stuff like that. You're gonna have your weapon modifications. You're also gonna have a button to throw bolts to make sure where you're gonna walk is safe to walk.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's like you're throwing junk and scrap just to make sure it's like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna toss this, and then all of a sudden it sparks or blows up, or it propels in some random direction, or it's fine.
Yeah.
And then there's these artifacts that do crazy things for you. That could be like controlling a storm or something like that, right? But in order to get to that artifact, you have to throw all these bolts and navigate your way through this maze of anomalies.
Yeah. No, it looks very interesting. The gameplay, or not the gameplay, the gunplay was something that really stuck out to me. I don't know. I always like when guns look super realistic in game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the guy has like a taped up magazine where it's like, the dual magazines, but they're taped up. Okay. He takes that out, spins it, reloads it, and you're good to go. There's even a point where in the video you actually see yourself put a suppressor on. So there's actually, okay, it's time to be quiet. You hit a button,
And
switch the
actually, yeah.
suppressor on.
Yeah. No, I'm excited for that one for sure.
But yeah,
Listen.
so that's kind of the bit on anomalies. There was also Pioneer, which, like I said, is the multiplayer equivalent. It's going to be a little bit more. It's going to take itself a little less seriously. It almost, if you watered it down with some like good old like Borderlands 1 and 2 humor.
Okay. I don't mind that though. I like when games kind of have fun with
Like
themselves.
it's not like heavily that way. It's just kind of like if you got a little wire can, give it a little spritz, make it
Yeah.
co-op.
Yeah.
Because you got electrified guns and stuff like that. You're taking away, that semi-realism for kind of like post-apocalyptic kind of punk kind of style gear,
Yeah.
rather than everyone's like ex-military. But with that, what's the next game on your list?
That is one that we have all been waiting for a long time, and they even poke fun of it in the trailer. Really well done on the trailer. That is Skate Period. It is, yeah, it's fine too. I don't even think we got any gameplay. I think,
We
or
did. We
did,
did at the very end, and before that, there was a couple trailers of gameplay.
oh,
I've been
okay.
following it before this announcement,
Oh, yes, yeah, I have not.
and then it was radio silent for a year, and then we got this, and I was just like, oh, okay, because I thought
Oh, yeah.
it died.
And like, yeah, just for context, I highly recommend anyone to go watch it, but pretty much it was, I don't know the comedian, but he's sitting there as an employee of the company that makes Skate, and he's pretty much being like, "No, everything's fine. Everything's good. We're
Yeah.
all good here." And in the background, people are getting fired, people are getting chewed out and all that. It's like, "No, we're still doing it. Don't worry. Skate's still a thing. We're all good here." And yeah, so people are packing up their desks and everything like that, kind of poking fun at the fact that it's taken them so long to do this. Um, in general, this is one of those games that their name carries so much weight that yeah, no, I'm definitely buying this. It's not gonna be a pre-order because I'm really not gonna pre-order anything anymore unless it's like Cooper 5 or something like that. But yeah, gotta say, just excited based on the fact that it's a skate game alone. They do have, I think they have a problem on their hands that they probably know about, and that's the fact that everyone has put the expectations super high, that and everyone's looking at it through nostalgia glasses at
Yeah.
Skate 3. So I hope the best for them. I think they have a huge challenge ahead of them. And yeah, best of luck on that one.
As long as it feels good, I think it'll be fine. If they launch with because every game nowadays is launching with only half of the features and modes. As long as they launch with the one where you propel yourself and try and break all the bones you can,
Oh
I think
yeah.
that was really big on YouTube for a while, and I think that'll cause like a good popularity boom for it. But yeah, no, I remember lots of days of just playing Skate 3 and after school and just relaxing. Even when I was like this, like so, it's kind of going into like high school. Like there's other games out to play, but I'd still like boot up the old Skate 3 after going to high school, and then a shift of working at the burger joint I used to work at, and boot that up, relax. It was a good time to chill too. It
Yeah.
was kind of like the game that brought me peace.
Yeah. Well, because it is a pretty chill game. Also, I just realized
Yeah.
you saying working at the burger joint. That is I love that. Oh no, that's cool. It's like saying I'm born and raised here. Just yeah, it's a cool line to say. But yeah, no, I agree totally. That's why it's a great thing, but it's also a bad thing for this company. They gotta bring their A game. And they obviously know that. That's why I think they've taken so long to do so.
Also,
But
I
yeah.
believe it's a free to play that they're planning on doing
Oh
with that
right,
platform.
right,
So it's
right.
gonna be cosmetics. So you're gonna be buying your skateboard skins.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't know if I'm super happy about that, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
They've probably had to pay a lot of employees for a very long period of time without any releases, so have at
Well, I
her.
imagine they worked at other things, and then now this is something that's full steam ahead.
Yeah. And on that kind of a flip, we are going on to State of Decay 3.
Ooh.
Yeah, so this is another one that I think you know more about it than myself.
Okay, I know more about the previous state of decay. So essentially, what the first couple were, well, the first one and the second one, you essentially you have a cast of characters that are built and programmed into the game, and you essentially do a Walking Dead. You go around, you try and fix up vehicles, you're looting houses. You can choose to let things search slowly, where you're like, I want to do this quicker. So you hold your shift key while you're searching, and there's a chance that you might make more noise, which might alert more to your area. Or if you're in the thick of it and you're trying to grab something sneaky and you decide to risk it for the biscuit, well, sometimes you get gravy and sometimes you get water.
There you are. So yeah. So it's like
But
our
it's a
soup.
fun third-person action game, hack and slash shooter, equipped gear. Each character has traits based off their background. Like if you have a soldier, they're going to be more proficient with firearms, or maybe they're a sniper
Yeah.
before. If you have the biker guy, maybe he's good with engines. He can fix up the car a little bit with less resources and maybe do it a little faster. Maybe have an ex-con who's a little bit quicker at searching, and depending on these people, like okay, like they implemented this in the second game. All right, we have our base at the police station now. We moved everybody in. We set up cots. Everything else, we're going good. We're a little too populated. Let's start using some of the jail cells as bedrooms. Okay, well now the mood's down because everyone feels like they're in prison. So you also got to manage the moods too.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of a Sims aspect to it, but it's an action game, but it's also kind of a management game. Now I don't know what the deal is with State of Decay 3. Um, the way they kind of hinted at trailers, it sounds like these people have left a group.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that's all going to work out for these ones.
Yeah. It looks and sounds and feels like I think you summed it up perfectly. Walking Dead simulator. Seems like you're making your own zombie drama series, whatever you'd like. And I kind of like that where it's just because
Yeah,
everyone
because
always because every guy, I don't know. I hope every guy does this because that'll sound weird. But you're always just like, what would I do in a zombie apocalypse? It's like I go here, I'd stock up here, maybe kill this guy, then go up here. And it's like I think it really puts people to the test of like,
yeah,
yeah, the guys that always think that they can stand up and be a leader and stuff like that. It's like, there you go. You got these 6 people. See what you could do in an apocalypse. See if you could actually manage people. I don't know. I think,
so 2 made it co-op. They're bringing that back in 3.
yeah.
Um, But it seems to be that, I don't know, I'm kind of stumbling here as I'm reading. So the little description it's got here for State of Decay 3 is the game set years after the zombie apocalypse is nearly wiped out. Humankind. Sorry. After zombie apocalypse is nearly wiped out humankind, as the zombie threat continues to claim lives, you must fight back and reclaim lost ground and carve out a life for you and your community of survivalist homesteaders. So yeah, you're managing a group still, by the sounds
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is you might have Sarah in your group, and she might get along with Steve, the guy that you started out as, and I might be playing Jack, and Sarah doesn't like him too much just because maybe his personality rubs her personality the wrong way. But she's still in the group, and maybe she died in yours, and maybe she's alive in mine, kind of thing. It's like I said, it's really depending on what you do, because like you have that cast, but they can die. There is permadeath in the game.
That is
So-
crazy. I don't like that. That's raising the stakes a little too high for me.
Yeah. So you might join my session with Carl.
Carl.
and I might be playing as my Rick.
Yeah.
But when you're in my session, you were along for the ride, but I made the choices. And when I join your session, I'm along for the ride, and your Carl makes the choices.
That'd be so funny just going over to your session and someone's alive that I really cared about died on my end. It's just
Yep.
PTSD all over again. It's like, oh, how have you been?
And I'm gonna go to the same place on the same map where she died on yours, and like, all right, let's do this raid, boys.
Yeah.
It's like it's not gonna happen this time.
Yeah.
I'll see her.
Oh my goodness, that's so funny.
Yeah.
What else was there on that? Fable 4 is coming out. I believe this was the one. I believe I was actually interested in this because it was either this or Avowed. It was the trailer that felt like just a pretty semi-normal medieval experience of
Mhm.
just like a very good story in the medieval town. Like, you do end up going to war a few times, but like, I don't know, just seemed like a really brightly colored, not too gory, simple farmer turning into his own kind of person, and you kind of follow along his storyline.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe that was Fable 4. Sounds like it.
Yeah.
So-
So it definitely did have a very vibrant aspect. I hope they stay in tune where you can kind of pick where you want to be the male or the female, because both had interesting options when you played the original games.
Okay.
So notoriously in Fable games, you can choose to be good or evil.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
I think I remember that.
and so like that, and your character will change based off of what you do, like appearance wise and everything. Like I remember in the very first one, you'd actually get devil horns if you were evil,
Jesus.
and your
No.
skin would get paler, and you get a glowing scar.
Tuh.
And then if you're a hero, like people treated you nice, you got a cape. If you're a guy, I think you grew a really nice beard.
Yeah, so I'm kind of excited for that. Kind of looks like, because I think I played Fable 3 a long time ago.
Yeah, like Fable 3 was Xbox 360 era.
Yeah, that was that. Yeah, it just seems like a kind of a fun ride for me. Just seems
Yeah.
like I have a great time doing it.
Yeah, Fable looks like, because they're not calling it Fable 4, it's Fable, but people are numbering it because of ease of searching. But honestly, out of everything in the showcases, I got a couple other games, but I think Fable is gonna be a contender along with GTA 6, as long as that releases on time next year. That those two are gonna be the games that kind of really shine next year.
Yeah.
Is everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, we got a Fable," and then GTA 6, because everyone's waiting for that.
Oh my God, yeah.
We didn't get anything. on GTA 6 during this whole Summerfest thing, which kind of surprised me a little bit.
To be honest, they don't need it. We're all
I
being
know,
real here.
but I'm hungry for it, man.
I know that's exactly the reason they don't need to do anything. Just
Yeah.
I won't show you anything. You're gonna like it too. You're gonna ask me why, and I'm not gonna answer. But that's honestly perfect marketing. Where it's just like maybe a couple months before they're like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
here you go, peasants, get your money set. It's like kind of love that aspect of it.
I got one game I do want to shout out for that I think we kind of glazed over because we watched the recap of the Summer Game Fest and not the whole show. Is
Yeah.
that No More Room in Hell 2 was announced or was showcased, and that game. So the original game was a mod on the source engine for like Half-Life 1 or 2.
Okay.
I think 2. And that had more like fighting zombies mechanics than anything has had in a while. Like zombies would grab onto you, you would have to use your button to try and shove them off of you before they could bite you. You could shove, you were barricading. Like you could do like, okay, you got to hold the points for so long before extraction, right?
Yeah.
And so you would actually go around, find boards, find a hammer, find a box of nails, and start boarding up the windows and the doorways.
Jesus.
And if you didn't board it low enough and there's children zombies, dear God.
No one ever thinks of the children zombies.
Yeah. Oh, they were fast and crazy. It's like they were on speed or something.
Yeah.
But or you'd play through these event things where you start in where you've hunkered up at the attic, and then you would have to, it's like, all right, we're out of food, we need to go down, but the whole place is like zombies have moved right in
Yeah.
the whole area. So you're in this cabin, there's a dock with a boat, so you got to make your way through it. This whole cabin, it's too thick zombies out by the porch, so you go down into the cellar or the basement that has a cellar door. You eventually get your way out through the cellar door, but you also have to find a tank of gasoline at some point throughout this whole adventure to go top up the boat to get out.
Oh my good lord. Yeah.
And like this game had so much for a mod, and now an independent release, No Room in Hell 2 is like they did a little graphic showcase and updated graphics and everything else like that. It's going to be a beautiful game.
It's funny because Derek can attest to this. We watched this all together. I said this about 7 times, 7 to 10 actually. I would watch the movie or the TV series or even the docu-series before playing this because like that sounds like hell to me, gameplay wise. But it also sounds like
going to lead it to Life is Strange.
That's funny now. But I would watch that movie. A lot of these games, like there's that game with the monkey samurai and the huge gods.
Oh yeah, the Wong Kong.
Yeah.
And the Black Myths, I think it was.
Yeah.
That I'll pull it up to make sure.
It was like a short trailer, I think, on Summerfest. It looked like nothing I want to play whatsoever, but it looked like an amazing 2-hour movie. Looked like something that I would be like, yo, what is this samurai monkey gonna do to these huge gods? Like, I don't know. Like, I had that with a bunch of these games, so like none of them are bad. Just both of us have like very different, sometimes the same, but very different like things that we're looking for from a game. So yeah, all of them, I'd say watch the whole trailer reel thing. But yeah. Now we can talk about Life is Strange because that actually,
all right.
I left
Before
myself
that,
off.
It's Black Myth Wong Kong.
Ah, yes. So correct me if I'm wrong. This Life is Strange is directly after number 1.
Yep, and it's called Life is Strange: Double Exposure, which is a reference of the whole mechanic behind the first game was rewinding time with the camera.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so isn't this dimension hopping or
Yeah,
time hopping? I think dimensions.
dimension.
Yeah.
Her powers evolved, and now she's hopping between two dimensions or two timelines.
Okay, yeah. Which is funny now that like technology's gotten so advanced that we can now have two timelines going simultaneously in a game, so you can swap between them. So now
Mhm.
kind of feels like dimension hopping and timeline hopping is like the thing to do. Just
I
saying.
mean, as a continuation, it was an alright kind of next step for it. It would have been
Oh
cool if
yeah.
it had something to do with the camera. They had
Yeah.
they added the photo thing, but the way it showed off in the trailer, it's just like, ooh, hands.
Yeah.
She's hands. But at least we're curious to see because Chloe wasn't in it at all. The best friend or love interest, depending on how you rolled your cards.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Spoiler warning,
I
maybe?
messed up that saying so bad. Roll your cards.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, I get you. Roll the dice. How you played your cards. Um, I'm almost positive. Didn't she die?
There's so many multiple endings to that.
Okay, well, she died in mine.
Okay, well you can save her.
Yeah, okay. Well, hey, look at me. Look at me go. Yeah, so anyways, I am interested in playing that. Um, it also made me remember Stranger Things just because that was actually a game that I did not play until COVID happened. And I was still working, but there was not a lot to do outside of work. So pretty much all I would do was go onto my PS Plus account, go into the games that I had added throughout the years whenever they were free, and then I
Mhm.
would just go through. I would download 3 at a time, and then I would just go through. I would spend 10 minutes on one or something like that. Didn't like it, delete it. But then Stranger Things was one of the ones that Stranger Things. Life is
Yeah, I was
Strange.
gonna say. I was gonna say you said call it Stranger Things. I'm like, isn't that the TV show?
Yeah, that's so funny. Life is Strange is one of those ones that they gave away free the entire season, and I played it, and it's also kind of funny comment on myself where I was really happy when it was just playing a teenage girl going through high school with all this stuff and just doing the little like look around, and the environments are super flushed out. So
Oh
it's
yeah.
kind of fun doing that. And as soon as something awful started happening, I was like, well, that's no fun. I just want to braid some chick's hair and like just go and like have some drama with Cassie down by the dock. The stupid, can't say it on this air, but yeah, I don't know. It is great, but then there's like aspects to it where I'm always like with the prison break thing. I'm literally like, do we have to break out, or could we just be bros in the common area and play a little chess, Derek? Can't we?
Well, you could get less trials, and yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, yeah. I know I'm gonna run in Outlast Trials, but whatever. No, it's funny. Just sometimes, a lot of times with these games, I'll like be very intrigued, like Fable, where I'm like, it'd be great just to go around this town and like enjoy all the medievalness, and then I know somewhere down the line they actually want to capture my attention again, quote unquote, and then we're gonna have to go fight a dragon. But yeah, no, that's why I am excited for this Life is Strange. It does look like it is a lot of actiony stuff because obviously it is. It's like if anyone knows how the last Life is Strange ended, spoiler warning. Huge storm hits. So I don't think there's any lollygagging or any high school drama. I think we're pretty much going right into her, which isn't a bad thing. Just the only person that's probably upset about that is myself. Um, Once again, definitely not going to buy it straight away. I am thinking this might be a thing where, well, not the next pandemic happens, but whenever I have a really down point in time in my life, I might just go pick it up just to try it. Um, there's that one. And then kind of on the opposite end of just downtime, there is the Indiana Jones one. That is interesting. Well, actually, correct me if I'm wrong. It's like almost a completely linear game.
Yeah, it looks like it. It's
Yeah.
gonna be kind of a roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
Instead of a new Indiana Jones movie because that went so well. Um, we're gonna get it in the form of a ride, and ironically, because the last movie didn't do too well. Speaking of games, I want to watch the movie of.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
no.
it was the subtitle on it, Indiana Jones: The Great Circle. It lost me, and then they brought the Nazi jokes, and I'm like, okay, you got me back in.
Yeah, that was kind of funny. Whereas, yeah, I remember now. I remember you saying that, like, oh my goodness, they called it the Great Circle. It's like, because I was just along for the ride, like I usually am. I'm just like almost like a toddler that just got a lollipop half the time I see new stuff, and you're just like, oh my good lord, we're doing this again. And then I realized, I'm like, yeah, that is kind of contrived. It's kind of nothing we haven't seen before. But
That's kind of the like. It's fall. Let's go to the coffee shop. Oh, you got pumpkin spice, yeah? Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's just like, okay,
Yeah.
we're doing this again.
Oh, the Uggs are out and about. Mm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
um.
Oh, the scarves.
Yeah. Um. It does seem like one of those games though that like you're gonna go into it like you're playing it in the daytime on your couch on a console, just kind of having a good time. Of like, feels like one of those ones that you know what you're getting into. I don't think there's
Mhm.
gonna be many surprises. I think it's just gonna be like you want to have an entertaining time while playing a video game. Pick this one up, enjoy the story, laugh a bit. I don't think it's gonna be. I probably there is a difficulty rating, but I would like to say I think the normal is not gonna be that difficult. I think the real key aspect of this is gonna be playing out as Indiana Jones, trying to feel witty, trying to feel like you're getting one up on the Nazis and stuff like that. Think it's gonna be a fun time. That is one that I will wait for a sale, but I'll probably get it on its first sale, like 10% off. Definitely interesting. I don't know. How did you feel about it besides the Great Circle comment?
Seemed all right, but
Yeah.
like it was like I said, um, it's the game movie I want to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, I get well,
Hmm.
obviously I get that. Yeah, no.
How, I know you might have missed it, but they announced a new Batman game.
Well, yeah, I missed it. What?
Yeah, it was on
What?
the third video that we were gonna go watch, but you're like, yeah, this is enough.
Oh, yeah, well also it's a little too many White Claws in, but let's get past that, people. What Batman game?
Okay, so there is a Batman game coming to VR, Batman Arkham Shadow.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, VR Batman.
It's funny, I almost got the PlayStation VR specifically for the Batman experience. It was nothing like a game. It was literally just Batman
Mhm.
putting on the cowl and stuff like that.
Oh,
Um,
speaking of, they're actually coming with an adapter to run the new PlayStation VR on PC.
oh, that is so cool. Arkham Shadow Meta Quest VR revealed, so I can actually play it on my Quest. Okay, that's gonna be a reason to dust off the old thing. That's gonna be sick.
Yeah,
Oh my god,
and then you'll do that, and we'll start playing Contractors again.
probably yeah. As long as I can say where is she and I'm Batman. But yeah, no, I'm. Yeah, actually, that'd be so funny. Just Batman with an AR-15. But yo, okay, that is cool. Okay, yeah, no, that's the only reason I'm dusting off that beta quest is I'm gonna actually really get into that, and I think Kale's gonna have to try real hard to find me any bit attractive as I'm like giggling to myself as a little schoolgirl, probably putting out my wings for the glider, or like
Yeah,
throwing a batarang.
you gotta make sure you put your deodorant on before you play, because
Yeah,
just arms out the entire time,
yeah,
summer
just,
heat.
ah. Oh God. Oh yeah, I never even thought of that. I'm sweating, ladies and gentlemen, right now just
Oh,
talking
so am
for
I.
an hour. Yeah, I can't imagine playing Batman for like more than 30 minutes. It's like, did Batman have a puffer in the movies? Because he has one now. Oh, um,
Just full on.
that is
I'm
cool.
Batman. I am out. I
Yeah.
Gotham.
Ventolin. God, that is cool though. The only last one in my list is Avowed. Not gonna lie, ladies and gentlemen, you already heard it once. The White Claws were kind of deep at this point. I tried Googling it. I don't remember Avowed. Um, I kind of think I do. I think that it was one of the
All right,
ones on
it
the last
was
list.
Magic, Melee, and Gunplay Skyrim, but it's made by
Oh yeah.
Obsidian, the people that made Fallout New Vegas. Ironically, the more critically acclaimed of the Fallout games made by a different studio than Bethesda.
Okay, yep. And now I immediately remember why I put it on there. The Fallout New Vegas people, they made Outer Worlds. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And that was a hit. I remember saying to myself, not really my thing, but they haven't steered me wrong yet. I'm also realizing you pretty much sold me on a bunch of games. Yeah. That's how I
I just gave
remembered
you their
half of them.
history.
I know, yeah. Yeah. It's just like, oh, that's a rock. It's like, well, actually, if you look into this rock, it's actually kind of cool. It's the one that killed Hitler. It's like, I thought a bullet did. A lot of people do, but the rock. I'm like, wow, okay, so this rock's now on my shelf for some reason. But no.
Just a sticker of keep you smell the rock is cooking.
Yeah, oh my god. But yeah, no, I find that really I'm gonna try it out eventually. That's also one that's down the road, but it's not one that I will forget about just because I enjoyed Outer Worlds so much. I enjoyed the Outer Worlds DLC, the whole vibe of that. And I respect the people that made New Vegas. How can you not? Any games you want to touch on?
Not game, but a book.
Okay.
So, you all used to play D&D, Vicar?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And by the way, that was with a V in case that sound came out weird on radio side. Anyway.
Cut. All right. Yeah. Vicar.
So the 6th edition is coming out. Or like the 5.5.
Nice.
VICAR.
Yeah. Cool.
To clarify.
All right.
Anyway.
I'm gonna put a beep there and make you sound so bad.
Okay. So what's cool about this, and that I'm kind of excited for, so everything you could roll back, like if you want to use anything from the 5th edition, you can kind of bring it up, though things are updated to be nicer on the new edition. You get feats that you would typically take, like your level 4 instead of your ASI and stuff like that, as part of your background. They kind of give you an early boost. Weapon masteries. You're taking something from a couple of other different systems that, so you have things like graze, where if you miss, they still take a little bit of damage because you've mastered the weapon. You still graze them with it on a miss.
I like that.
And well as cleave. So if you're using something like a great axe and you're a weapon master of that, you can hit multiple guys with one strike. Daggers, instead of using your bonus action on one single action, you could take an additional strike at it.
Oh, that's kind of cool, like a little
so
yeah.
So like if you're rogue that does not get 2 attacks, you could get 2 attacks out of it.
I kind of like that. Kind of makes sense too. Yeah.
So they've added that. Not every class gets masteries for weapons, but fighter gets the most, which makes sense.
Okay.
And they've updated a lot of the subclasses and stuff like that. Now all have made the cut for the player's handbook, which is usually just the first base kind of, here's what you need to get going.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm kind of weirdly excited, looking forward to it, knowing that I'm not going to have any group for it for a long while. Because everybody's still running the 5th edition. But it's a neat little announcement because it's a new D&D book. The last one we got was 2014.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much for listening to On the Rewind. We had a lot of fun this episode going over all the new games coming out or upcoming, should I say. If you want to listen to us anymore, we have a whole catalog on Spotify, Amazon, anywhere you listen to podcasts. Our whole catalog's there. We're on episode 40. I didn't even know that until Derek said something. Thank God. Yeah. So thank you so much for listening. We broadcast on Amherst Island Radio 101.3 FM every other Thursday. I'm Adam.
I'm Derek.
We just
Rewound. We need to
All
start
right.
doing this in person.
I'm not doing this in person with how sweaty I am. Not a chance.
Thanks for listening to On the Rewind.